The red neon light of the old diner cast a warm glow through the evening darkness. Inside, the familiar sounds of clinking coffee cups and quiet conversations filled the air. Jake Mitchell sat in his usual booth, his weathered hands wrapped around a steaming mug of black coffee. Across from him, his 8-year-old daughter Emma picked at her chocolate chip pancakes, her bright eyes scanning the restaurant with curiosity. Jake had been coming to this diner for 3 years now, ever since he'd returned from his final deployment overseas. The routine helped him find peace in the simple moments. Every Friday evening, he and Emma would share dinner here before heading home for the weekend. Tonight felt different, though. At the corner booth, a young woman sat alone. Her dark hair fell in waves around her shoulders, and intricate tattoos decorated her arms like beautiful artwork. She kept glancing toward the door, her fingers nervously tracing the rim of her untouched coffee cup. Jake noticed the way she flinched every time someone walked past her table. Emma had noticed too. His daughter had always been perceptive, reading people's emotions like pages in her favorite books. "Daddy?" Emma whispered, leaning across the table. Her small voice carried genuine concern. "That lady over there looks scared. Can we help her?" Jake followed his daughter's gaze. The young woman was indeed trembling slightly, and he could see the way she positioned herself to watch both the front door and the back exit. His military training kicked in automatically. He recognized the signs of someone who felt trapped, someone running from something dangerous. As if sensing their attention, the woman looked up. Her eyes met Jake's for just a moment. In that brief glance, he saw fear mixed with determination. She was trying to be brave, but something had shaken her deeply. "Please, Daddy," Emma said softly. "She reminds me of that injured bird we helped last spring. Remember how gentle you were with it?" Jake remembered. Emma had found a robin with a broken wing in their backyard. Together, they'd carefully nursed it back to health. His daughter had learned that sometimes the most important thing you can do is simply show kindness to someone who's hurting. Before Jake could respond, 3 men in leather jackets entered the diner. They moved with purpose, their eyes scanning the room methodically. The young woman's face went pale. She slumped lower in her seat, trying to make herself invisible. Jake's protective instincts flared. Something was very wrong here. "Emma," he said quietly, "I want you to stay right here for a moment, okay?" Without waiting for an answer, Jake stood and walked over to the woman's table. He approached slowly, keeping his movements calm and non-threatening. "Excuse me, miss," he said in a gentle voice. "My daughter and I couldn't help but notice you seem upset. Is everything all right?" The woman looked up at him with startled eyes. Up close, Jake could see that her tattoos weren't just decorative. They told stories of strength and survival. A phoenix rising from flames covered her forearm. A quote in elegant script ran along her wrist. She believed she could, so she did. I'm fine," she stammered, but her voice betrayed her fear. The 3 men had spotted her now. They began moving in her direction, their intentions clear. Jake recognized the type. Predators who preyed on those they thought were vulnerable. "Ma'am," Jake said, his voice still gentle but with an edge of steel, "my daughter Emma is over there, and she's worried about you. Would you like to join us for a few minutes? Sometimes it helps to have company when you're feeling alone." The woman glanced at the approaching men, then at Emma, who was watching with wide, concerned eyes. Something in the little girl's innocent face seemed to give her courage. "Yes," she whispered. "Yes, I'd like that very much." Jake helped her gather her things and escorted her to their booth. As they walked, he positioned himself between her and the 3 strangers. His military bearing was subtle but unmistakable to anyone who knew how to look. "Emma, this is..." Jake paused, realizing he didn't know the woman's name. "Sarah," she said softly, sliding into the booth next to Emma. "My name is Sarah." "Hi, Sarah," Emma said with a bright smile. "I'm Emma, and this is my daddy. He's really good at helping people. He was a soldier, you know." Sarah's eyes flicked to Jake with new understanding. She saw the quiet strength in his posture, the way he kept watch over the diner while appearing relaxed. The three men had stopped at the counter, ordering coffee, but clearly waiting. Jake caught the eye of the diner's owner, old Pete, who had been watching the situation unfold. Pete gave a small nod and reached for the phone behind the register. "Sarah, are you hungry?" Emma asked, pushing her plate of pancakes toward the center of the table. "These are really good. My daddy always says food tastes better when you share it with friends." For the first time that evening, Sarah smiled. It was a small smile, but genuine. "That's very kind of you, Emma. Your daddy sounds like a wise man." "He is," Emma said matter-of-factly. "He taught me that when someone is scared, the best thing to do is be kind to them, like when we helped that bird with a hurt wing." Jake watched as Sarah's tension began to ease slightly. Emma's innocent chatter was working better than any tactical strategy he could have devised. His daughter had a gift for making people feel safe and valued. 20 minutes passed. The three men grew restless, but they didn't approach the booth, where Jake sat with his back to the wall, clearly alert and protective. When two police officers entered the diner for their regular evening patrol, the strangers quickly paid for their coffee and left. Sarah's shoulders sagged with relief. "Thank you," she whispered to Jake. "I don't know what would have happened if—" "You don't have to explain," Jake said quietly. "We all need help sometimes. The important thing is that you're safe now." Emma reached across the table and patted Sarah's hand. "Are you feeling better now? When I'm scared, my daddy always says tomorrow can be a new day if we're brave enough to take the first step." Sarah's eyes filled with tears, but they were good tears. "You know what, Emma? I think your daddy is absolutely right." As the evening wound down, Sarah pulled a business card from her purse. "I'm a graphic designer," she explained. "I've been trying to start my own business. But, well, sometimes the past doesn't want to let you go. The future is what we make of it," Jake said. "One day at a time." Sarah nodded, then looked at Emma. "Thank you for caring about a stranger, sweet girl. Your kindness reminded me that there are still good people in the world." Emma beamed. "Daddy says everyone deserves to feel safe and happy, even people with pretty tattoos like yours." Sarah laughed, a sound that was warm and genuine. "Would you like to know what this one means?" she asked, showing Emma the phoenix on her arm. "It's a bird that rises from the ashes. It means no matter how hard things get, we can always start over and become stronger. Just like our little bird," Emma said with wonder. "It couldn't fly at first, but then it got better and soared really high." "Exactly like that," Sarah agreed. As they prepared to leave, Sarah hugged Emma gently. "Thank you for seeing someone who needed help and caring enough to do something about it." Jake walked Sarah to her car, making sure she got safely inside. Through the diner window, Emma watched with satisfaction. Her daddy had taught her well. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply show kindness to another human being. Driving home, Emma was unusually quiet. Finally, she spoke up from the back seat. "Daddy, do you think we really helped her?" Jake looked at his daughter in the rearview mirror. Her innocent question carried the weight of genuine concern for another person's well-being. "Yes, Emma," he said softly. "I think we did. Sometimes helping someone isn't about solving all their problems. Sometimes it's just about showing them they're not alone." Emma nodded thoughtfully. "I'm glad we helped. She seemed really nice under all that scared." "She did," Jake agreed. "And you know what? I think you taught me something tonight too." "What's that?" "That kindness doesn't need to be complicated. Sometimes it's as simple as asking if someone needs help and then actually caring about the answer." Emma smiled sleepily,